All right, so here is one of my favorite lessons that we do 10 health beliefs and what the science says now. Let's go ahead and go to this article. As you can see, it's originally from The Guardian, but it's adapted for people learning English. 8 hours sleep and you must eat breakfast. The truth behind 10 of the biggest health beliefs for intermediate level learners. Also, I should note that if you want the lesson notes, they are available on Patreon. So, this article was written in January, okay, so the beginning of the year. And if you're wondering why January, someone might ask, well, that's because that's when people make New Year's resolutions. Yeah, New Year's resolutions. Those are the big goals people make in the beginning of the year, right? People want to say, lose weight, live healthier, read more books, save more money. Yeah, these are some common New Year's resolutions, some common goals people make in the beginning of a year. So, this article published in January. Here are some common health beliefs and what science says now, so you can start making better health decisions this year. And here we will see 10 statements, yeah, and some information about what the science says now. And you will understand why I'm using air quotes in a second. So let's go to this first one here. Let's make it a bit bigger. Oh, lifting weights will give you big muscles. Lifting weights will give you big muscles. This isn't technically true. There are two main ways to get strong: increasing the size of individual muscles or trying to get more of them working at the same time. Bodybuilders aim to do the first by doing many repetitions in each set of exercises, lifting until their muscles fail. Athletes who generally have smaller shoulders than bodybuilders aim to do the second by lifting heavier weights for fewer repetitions. Okay, so there's a couple of things here in this paragraph. This isn't technically true. So that's like saying the statement here, lifting weights will give you big muscles. It's not 100% true. That's what they're saying. Yeah, it's like kind of true, but not 100% true. It's not technically true. And they say here, they continue, there are two main ways to get strong: increasing the size of individual muscles or trying to get more of them working at the same time. Yeah, so your muscle can get bigger, okay, and then it'll be stronger, or you can use more of your muscle at the same time. Yeah, like we all have met people who are thin, who are skinny. They don't have big muscles, but they're quite strong. Yeah, and one reason might be is they're using 30% of their muscle instead of 20. Yeah, so you can get really big muscles, or you can teach your body to use more of your muscle in order to get stronger. And here they say bodybuilders aim to do the first. And notice here, this is a typo in the text, a mistake, a typo in the text. They aim to do the first. That means they want to. Their goal is to do the first. So to increase the size of their muscles by doing many repetitions in each set of exercises, lifting until their muscles fail. Yeah, so in English, we talk about repetitions and sets. Yeah, so for my Polish and Russian speaking students, serie, sets, and repetitions, powtórzenia, repetycja, right? So you have one set and you do 10 repetitions, for example, for a bodybuilder, lifting until their muscles fail. Okay, so if your muscle fails, you can't lift anymore. Yeah, you're stuck. Boom, right? So that's what bodybuilders do. Athletes who generally have smaller shoulders than bodybuilders aim to do the second. So they want to do the second thing by lifting heavier weights for fewer repetitions, right? So an athlete might do 2 or 3 repetitions in one set, okay? And by the way, this here to me seems quite strange. Yeah, shoulders, these are our shoulders. Yeah, right here, this shoulders. Why are they talking about shoulders? I would say athletes have a smaller everything than bodybuilders. Yeah, smaller legs, smaller arms, smaller even neck, back, chest. Yeah. So, but okay, I would say they have smaller muscles than bodybuilders. But okay, so here we see 2 things. If you want to get stronger, you can either get a bigger muscle and you train like a bodybuilder, 4 sets of 8 or 4 sets of 10, or you can get stronger by training like an athlete. Yeah, 4 sets of 1, 4 sets of 2, for example. Yeah, you don't do as many repetitions in each set, but you lift heavier weights. So let's keep on going. Number 2, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. This is the second claim that breakfast, that's your first meal of the day, is the most important meal of the day. Although there is nothing about the first meal of the day that makes it particularly special, the timing of meals is now recognized as an important factor in weight loss. One study found that those who ate a large breakfast saw greater weight loss than another group who had a smaller breakfast and larger dinner. Okay, so they say there is nothing about the first meal of the day that makes it particularly special. So this is a little redundant. It's a little repetitive. It's like saying especially special. It's nothing, there's nothing that makes it super special. Yeah. And the article here claims the timing of meals is now recognized as an important factor in weight loss. So the timing, that's what time you eat your meals. We recognize it, we think it's important in weight loss and how much weight you lose. Yeah. They say one study found that those who ate a large breakfast saw greater weight loss than another group who had a smaller breakfast and larger dinner. This is interesting because I have seen the opposite. But mm, I'm saying I have seen studies that show that timing does not matter. But this could be some good area to think critically. Yeah, why could a study show this? Could it be behavioral? Maybe, for example, I eat a bigger breakfast, so I eat less in the day. Yeah. I have lunch at work, so I don't order a pizza when I'm at work. And then by the time I get really hungry, I'm back at home and I can cook myself dinner. Maybe that's the reason. Yeah. Let's keep on going here. The next claim, you should walk 10,000 steps a day. 10,000 wasn't based on any science when it was first used in the 1960s, but it might be good advice. A study released in 2022 found that walking may reduce the risk of an early death from heart disease and cancer. Okay, so the study released in 2022, so it was published in 2022, found that walking may reduce the risk of an early death from heart disease. So, heart disease is with your heart. Yeah, this right here. Uh, you can have a heart attack, for example, and cancer. Very interesting. So, here they're saying it wasn't based on science, but it seems now that science is showing us maybe it's not 10,000 steps per day, but overall, walking is good for you. Physical activity is good for you. Let's keep on going. Number 4, you need 8 hours of sleep. Some people need 8 hours sleep, while others can get by on 7. But in one of the largest ever sleep studies, started in 2017, people who reported sleeping 7 to 8 hours performed better cognitively than those who slept more or less than that. Here we have several interesting things. Look at this. They can get by on 7. Okay. Some people need 8 hours sleep, while others can get by on 7. An interesting phrasal verb here. To get by on 7 hours of sleep, here it means like to survive. Okay. So some people need 8, but some people, they do okay with 7. That's what this is saying here. They do okay with 7. In one of the largest ever sleep studies, started in 2017, people who reported sleeping 7 to 8 hours performed better cognitively than those who slept more or less than that. So their performance, their cognitive performance was better. Cognitive refers to the mind, it refers to your brain, your ability to think. So people who slept 7 to 8 hours, they did better on some kind of cognitive test, like an IQ test, yeah, than people who slept more or less than that. And I think that's very interesting, this more. So people who slept 9 hours performed worse cognitively. So on some kind of, let's say, let's call it an IQ test, yeah, their brain, their thinking processes were worse than people who slept 7 to 8 hours. Why is that? Do you have any ideas? My guess would be, I don't know, maybe if someone is sleeping 9 hours or 10 hours, maybe they're sick, maybe they're depressed, maybe they just traveled and they have jet lag, they didn't sleep well. And so now they need to sleep 9 to 10 hours to recover. And maybe that's why they're doing worse. I don't know, but this is very interesting. Let's keep on going. You should try to eat 5 portions of fruits and vegetables a day. In general, those who eat more fruits and vegetables may experience decreased levels of stress. And that's all this article says about this topic. I have never heard of fruits or vegetables decreasing stress, but maybe it makes sense. Your body is healthier. Maybe you feel less stress. You experience decreased levels of stress, so you feel lower levels of stress. Maybe that could be true. All right, let's keep on going to the next one. You need to drink 2 liters of water a day. Staying hydrated is important, but the recommendation to drink 2 liters of water a day, while good advice, is not based on hard science. You can also stay hydrated by drinking other drinks, such as coffee, tea, milk, or soft drinks. So, staying hydrated. Hydrated means you have a lot of water, a lot of liquid in your body. So, staying hydrated is important. It's important to have a lot of water, a lot of liquid in your body. But this recommendation, this suggestion, yeah, to drink 2 liters of water a day, it's not based on hard science. So it's not like 100% factually, scientifically true. Okay. You can also stay hydrated. So you can also have water, liquid in your body if you drink coffee, tea, milk, soft drinks. Soft drinks will be things like Fanta or Pepsi or Coca Cola. Yeah. So they're saying you don't have to drink just water. Apple juice would be fine. Tea is okay. What do you think about this? A lot of people would say that caffeine in coffee or tea or in certain soft drinks could dehydrate you. So dehydrate would be the opposite of hydrate. Yeah, if you add a DE before this. But according to this article, coffee and tea are fine for hydrating. Let's keep on going. Number 7. A daily glass of wine is better than not drinking. A daily glass of wine is better than not drinking. This belief is based on the idea that most who classify themselves as moderate drinkers seem to have a lower risk for some diseases. However, recent research suggests that regular, moderate drinking can still be bad for you. One study found that even 1 or 2 drinks a day might reduce the size of your brain. Okay, so they're saying here in the past, yeah, we heard, oh, have some wine in the evening. Yeah, before you go to bed, have some wine. You might have a lower risk for some diseases. Yeah, uh, but recent research suggests the opposite. Recent research shows the opposite, that even moderate drinking, so if you don't drink too much, it can reduce the size of your brain. It can make your brain smaller, right? So that doesn't sound like a good thing to have a smaller brain. But I don't know. Maybe both of these statements are true. What do you think? Okay, let's keep on going. Certain exercises will give you a six pack. A six pack. So a six pack, those are your abs. Yeah, those are the muscles on your stomach. You have the six muscles. Most people have six muscles on their stomach. Yeah. So if you have a six pack, that means you can see those muscles on your stomach. Yeah. And here they're saying it makes a sort of sense that if you want to have a six pack, you would do exercises like crunches and sit ups, says Emma Story Gordon, a personal trainer and sports scientist. But the truth is that whether you have a six pack or not has far more to do with your body fat levels than the number of sit ups you do. Okay. So here we have some exercise names. Sit ups are basically you're laying on the floor and you move your body up like this. Yeah. And a crunch is similar. It's just a smaller movement. It's more like this. Okay. But a sit up, you're moving the top portion of your body up towards your knees. Yeah. And you're exercising your stomach muscles. Yeah. The muscles of your core, your abs. And so this Emma Story Gordon, this personal trainer, she says, it makes sort of sense. Yeah, it's like common sense. If you want bigger muscles, if you want bigger abs, abdominal muscles, you should do crunches and sit ups. Yeah, you should exercise these muscles. But she says, if you can see it, it's more about body fat levels. Yeah, how much body fat you have. Yeah. And I think it makes sense. We've all seen maybe the Olympics. Yeah. When they're weightlifting in the Olympics, some guy that's just really fat, but he's super strong. He goes up there, sets a world record. You can't see his abs. Yeah. He has too much body fat, but I'm sure he has muscles underneath that fat. Yeah. So I think that's what Emma Story Gordon here is saying. It has more to do with your body fat than with the number of sit ups you do. All right, let's keep on going. Number 9, dieting will slow your metabolism. Yeah, so your metabolism. It's the same word in most languages. That's how many calories you burn not doing anything, basically. Yeah, just living. So, dieting will slow your metabolism. Many people believe that eating a low calorie diet or fasting will cause starvation mode, where the body slows metabolism as a way to keep you from losing any more weight. However, there may be small changes to your metabolism when you lose weight or go on a diet. This might explain why some people have a hard time keeping weight off or even regain weight after dieting. Okay. So there's a couple of words here. Many people believe that eating a low calorie diet or fasting will cause starvation mode. Fasting is when I don't eat anything. Yeah. In many Slavic languages, it's a post. Yeah. If you fast, you don't eat anything A common fasting period is 16 hours. Yeah, maybe you've heard of this 16 hours fasting, 8 hours of eating. So 16 hours of not eating anything, that's a common fast that people follow. People also do religious fasts. Yeah, so for example, Catholics, they fast on Fridays. That they don't eat any meat on Fridays. Yeah, they fast on Fridays. So many people believe that eating a low calorie diet or fasting will cause starvation mode. Starvation. Yeah, so if you're starving, you didn't have any food, you're dying. You had so little food. So they're worried your body, and they explain it here. Your body will slow its metabolism, okay, in response to not eating enough. That's what the starvation mode is. Yeah. Uh, and here they say there may be small changes to your metabolism when you lose weight or go on a diet. Maybe. Yeah. And this may be an explanation. This might explain why some people regain weight after dieting. So to regain, that means they gain it again. They gain their weight back, yeah, after dieting. Okay, number 10, the last one here, red meat is bad for you. So red meat, that's like beef, that's like pork, yeah. Red meat is bad for you. Let's see what they say here. Red meat was often advised against because it contains a lot of fat, but it's not as simple as that. Several studies have shown a connection between eating a lot of red meat and an increased risk of certain diseases and illnesses. But it is now believed that this might be confusing because many studies don't show the difference between processed bacon, sausages, burgers, and deli meats, and unprocessed red meat. So, what are they saying here? We used to think that red meat was bad because it contains a lot of fat. Yeah, and fat is bad. But it's not as simple as that. So, they're saying it's not that simple. Okay. Several studies showed a connection between eating a lot of red meat and an increased risk of certain diseases. But they didn't look at the difference between processed and unprocessed red meat. Yeah, so unprocessed red meat, that's basically like buying a steak at the butcher. Yeah, like the person that sells you meat, that's the butcher. If you go and just buy like a raw steak, yeah, it's like cut straight from the cow or the bull, that's unprocessed. But processed meat, that's like a McDonald's, yeah, or like a hot dog or something. Uh, Processed red meat could be bad for you. Yeah, like they add some chemicals to it, and who knows what they do with that meat. So there's a big difference between this processed red meat and unprocessed red meat. Okay, that's it. If you guys have any questions about any of the words or any of the things I said here, feel free to ask me in the comments. And besides that, there's a Patreon link in the description. You can click that and you can see this article then and use it to learn some new words. In any case, thanks. I'll see you guys later.